Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. So another match week with plenty of goals and important matches, especially in the bottom half of the table. But what I'll do today, I will start with a team that's challenging for the title. So obviously that is my beloved Liverpool. So we'll begin with the first match, which is Liverpool versus Leicester City. So in regards to this match, I think first things first, let's speak about the new signing, Luis Diaz. What a debut he had. For me, he reminded me a little bit of Luis Suarez in terms of his dribbling style and his tenacity, which was really, really good to see. I feel like he's definitely going to be an asset for us going forward, especially playing in that left wing position where we don't have a lot of players apart from Mane that can provide that pace and width and a goal attacking threat as well. So, no, fantastic debut. Very unlucky not to score. He had that great shot towards the latter end, which was saved by Schmeichel. But no, great start from our new signing there. Another big factor in this game was the return of Tiago Alcantara. So, what a performance. As you know, if you watched my previous show, I'm a big fan of his. And I've been itching and waiting for him to make his return to the Liverpool team. And I think the wait was definitely worth it. He was fantastic. I read a stat yesterday where I think in the Liverpool shirt, he's played 17 times and he hasn't lost. So that's 16 wins and 1 draw, which is phenomenal and just shows you the importance that he has in the team. So, yeah, really happy with his performance in terms of just the way he plays. So silky, so skillful. He did quite a few turns, which is like the trademark Tiago turn. I think he did it on Madison and he fell over, which was quite nice to see. But yeah, beautiful player in terms of his ability, great passing range, and just gives us that different dynamic in midfield, which I feel like we've lacked quite a bit this season. So, no, really pleased in terms of his performance. Other standout performance for me were Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk was fantastic. I know he hasn't been his sort of dominant self in comparison to the last couple of years where he was a colossal in terms of how he played. For me, he's slowly getting back to that rhythm again, which is fantastic to see. And I think this performance was definitely one of his better performances this season. Not that he's been performing bad, but I think it was like the old shade of Van Dijk from probably 2 years ago. And then his partner in crime, Matip, who was fantastic, produced the assist in the latter half of the game. For me, I feel like maybe that's something he can add on because he's got the ability to do it, especially when we're going for sort of set piece challenges, and he always has that ability to just get the ball and dribble through 1 or 2 players. So it's quite an asset for us. We don't normally have defenders that do that. So yeah, fantastic to see him providing an assist for us. In terms of the Egyptian king Mo Salah, so Mo Salah made his return after a heartbreaking defeat over the weekend in the African nations, which is, credit to him. He could have taken a break. He could have had a bit of a rest before the fixture pilot that we have coming up, but he chose to come the following day, which is fantastic. It's what you want from a professional. And I think you probably just wanted to get rid of that heartbreak and then straight away get back into the mix of playing football again. So good to see him come on. I think in terms of his performance, almost scored as well. For me, I feel like that the foul that led to the save with Schmeichel possibly could have been a penalty, in my opinion. The challenge was from behind, so Yeah, it was one of those moments where I feel like could have been a penalty, but you win some, you lose some, I guess. And then he also had a great shot afterwards where he hit the crossbar. So overall, a solid performance from Liverpool. In regards to Leicester, a bit of a surprising lineup, in my opinion. I feel like the bench was actually stronger than the the lineup that started the game. So I've heard rumors that there's rifts between a few players and Brendan Rodgers. So I'm not sure if there's any truth in that. Leicester fans maybe will be able to enlighten me a little bit more, but I'm not entirely sure in terms of if there's any truth to that. So yeah, an intriguing one in that regards. But I feel like with Liverpool, yeah, it's a great win. It shows you that we haven't given hope in terms of the title race. Not saying we're going to win or anything like that, but we're still in the mix. We've got Man City to play in the coming weeks. Got a couple games in hand as well, so you never know. So all still to play for. We're in pretty much all competitions, which is probably the first time that I can recollect in a very long time that we're still in the FA Cup. We've got a League Cup final coming up, and you've got the Champions League coming up soon as well. So no, exciting times to be a Liverpool fan, to be honest with you. The next game that I'll review is Wolves versus Arsenal. So massive win for the Gunners. I feel like, let's say they were able to get fourth at the end of the season, this would probably be the game that was the turning point because, like it or not, or for me, the table doesn't lie. Wolves are challenges for the top four. They're quite close to within that mix. So this was a vital win for Arsenal. This win puts Arsenal in fifth position with 2 games in hand. And if they were to win those games, it only strengthens their position in the top 4. So I've gone for Arsenal as the team that finishes fourth. So I'm going to stick by my guns regarding that. My concern, and I think for Arsenal fans as well, is that the lack of goals in the team. I think this game pretty much is further proof. I think Lacazette had plenty of chances to score in this game, and he just couldn't convert. So that will be the issue. So keeping everyone fit, but I think attacking-wise, a number of players will have to chip in. So the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Lacazette, even Odegaard as well, they need to contribute on the score sheet a bit more regularly, in my opinion. But as long as they get some wins, I feel like they're the team that's better positioned right now to challenge for that top 4. So yeah, good win for Arsenal. Bizarre red card, let's be honest, with Martinelli, where there was like 2 challenges in the space of like 20 seconds. Logically, I guess it's the right decision because the first challenge where he pushed the guy, I forgot who the player was now, where he did the throw in, that is definitely a yellow. And then the foul that he made later on was also yellow. But I've never seen anything like it where a player has fouled in the space of such a short time and then given 2 yellow cards on the spot. I don't know if that is the law or not, but it happened in bizarre fashion. Probably the correct decision, but I feel like there's no clear-cut rule in terms of should I have been just a yellow and then, tell the player, look, you've done another foul here. Make sure you don't do it again, otherwise you get another yellow. Maybe a warning would have been a better thing to present, but yeah, a weird one, to be honest with you. But in terms of Wolves, I think they showed a great account of themselves. Their new signing, Chiquito, I think his name is, looks a very promising talent, very skillful, and was also very close to scoring with a header in the latter stages. So unlucky for Wolves, but I feel like they've definitely surprised myself included. But I think the neutral fan because they assigned a manager who wasn't really well known. They didn't really recruit that heavily in the summer. They got Trincao, I believe, and they just got this new winger coming in January. But I feel like they're still playing to a good level. It might not be everyone's cup of tea in terms of style of play, but a lot of teams are like that in the Premier League, so you just kind of have to take it with a chin in terms of how they do it. But no, great win for Arsenal, unlucky for Wolves in that regards. The next game is Aston Villa versus Leeds United. So what a game. Fantastic game. Watch this live. End-to-end attacks, especially in the first half. And I have to be honest, we saw a prime Coutinho in that match, especially in the first half. He was phenomenal. Scored a beautiful goal and then 2 assists for a very good potential of a player in Jacob Ramsey, who definitely stood up for me and is rightfully getting the recognition that he deserves, because he's been a player I've been very impressed with this season. But now that because he's on the score sheet a lot more, I think there's more awareness about what he's doing on the pitch now. So for me, he's a player with a lot of quality, has a great future ahead of him, and playing for a manager like Steven Gerrard will only enhance his progress and development going forward. So, no, fantastic performance. In particular, that second goal for me, that was a lovely finish, top bins, which I always like to see. In terms of Leeds United, Daniel James leading the attack, which is a bit of a surprise. Not a position he's used to playing in. He's more of a right winger or left winger. And he's not the biggest of players as well. So very surprising to see him leading the line, but did a fantastic job, produced a great performance, scored the opening goal, hit the crossbar soon after, and later on in the game got his second goal as well. So question for the United fans. Do you regret selling a player like Dan James? Because he might have been a useful player to have in the current squad. A lot of you will probably say that he wasn't good enough, but some players fit certain systems. Maybe the current system that you guys are employing right now might work for a player like Daniel James. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to that. But overall, fantastic game, plenty of goals, which is what we like to see as a neutral. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of games like this, especially where a number of teams, especially in the bottom half, maybe bar one or two teams like the Burnleys, for example, they play very open in football. So there will be score lines where it's like the 3-3s and all that sort of stuff. So, no, I'm all for that sort of type of match. So great to see that. And this game was a big game for both teams. Both teams playing for their relegation status here. Everton probably didn't feel like they were in this battle, but unfortunately, due to a lot of poor results, they're right in the mix. And it was a fantastic game. It was a tsunami victory. One player, if you watch the game live, stood out head and shoulders above everyone else, was Saint-Maximin. He was simply unbelievable during this game. For me, pretty much unplayable. Very unlucky not to get on the score sheet. I feel like that's probably just one part of the game that he would want to focus a bit more in the coming seasons, is that he should be getting on the score sheet a lot more, especially in the positions that he takes. But what a fantastic footballer he is. Obviously, we all know Newcastle have very wealthy owners. So in the near future, especially if they keep their status in the Premier League, new recruits will be happening in the summer and further windows going forward. But I believe this is the player that the Newcastle team should build around. He's only 24 years old, so still very young, hasn't even hit his prime yet. Doesn't matter who you bring in. The team needs to evolve around a player like that. He's beloved by the fans. Just look at the way he celebrated after the game, serenading Hey Jude after the game, which was fantastic to see. He's loved there by the fans. He loves playing for the club. You can clearly see it as well. So, no, if Newcastle are smart, they'll make sure that all the players that they recruit is around him and then help him further his development, because I feel like he can actually go up another level. I feel like there's more to come from Saint-Maximin. So, yeah, he's been fantastic, especially in the last couple of months. He's been unbelievable for Newcastle. Back to the game itself, the first two goals were pretty identical. Two own goals, one ricochet of Lascelles, and then literally a minute or two later, a great set piece by Trippier. that was ricocheted off Holgate as well. So identical goals in like literally space of a couple minutes. But I feel like once Newcastle got the equaliser, for me, I think the momentum shifted towards them due to that home advantage. The crowd were really up for it and definitely made their presence and their voices heard as well. So that definitely spurred them on going forward. For me, Frazier had a decent game as well. He grabbed the second goal. But one of the standout performers, apart from St. Maximin, was Kieran Trippier for me. He was definitely key in this win. Like I said, he's the one that provided the assist for the first goal. But the free kick, the third goal, was just beautifully executed. And this is what he brings to the table. This is why I've said in the past that he's a fantastic signing. Obviously, he's a player with experience and can add that to the squad with his leadership skill as well in regards to that. But I feel like ability-wise, he's fantastic in dead ball situations, and that's probably an asset that Newcastle haven't had in the past, and he'll be able to unlock different types of goals. So whether that's direct free kicks or set pieces from corners and free kicks across the pitch, he will be key in terms of adding more goals to that team. And obviously they've signed Chris Wood, who has that aerial presence, so only he will help in terms of the cause to get some goals and claim some wins going forward this season as well. So very, very important signing for me. In terms of Everton, Dele Alli made his debut. Did all right. Didn't really stand up for me, in my opinion. Van der Beek made an appearance in the latter stages. It's not looking good for Everton, if I'm honest with you. They need to notch up some wins really, really quickly. Otherwise, they will be fighting. Well, they're already fighting us now, but I feel like they'll be in the mix, in the deep end in the next few weeks. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Everton in regards to their current form right now. So we've just got a comment here from Madison Smith. Do you believe Burnley is one of the three worst teams in the Premier League? I don't know. They're good at drawing games, but they can't win games to keep their head above water. I would just say each to their own in terms of the style of football that you like. For me, they're not my cup of tea in terms of how they play football. Obviously, I've grown up as a Liverpool fan, so I'm used to seeing more attacking style of play. Burnley, for me, are too defensive-minded. They have one type of way of playing, which is the long ball to the big man up front. That's a very sort of old school way of playing, and obviously the time has changed since the 80s and 90s. So, do I believe they're probably one of the three worst teams? Some would say no because they haven't been relegated for a long time, so clearly doing something right. But they're not easy on the eye, to say the least. But in regards to their form this season, I don't think they have enough to get out of that relegation zone. I was impressed with the signing of Weghorst, actually. £12 million, great business. They sold Chris Wood for 25 and got half of the money. I feel like they've got a better player in return. So it's a tricky one. I just don't think they have enough quality to get out there. So yeah, I don't see them in the Premier League anytime soon. And then probably that would be more of a question in terms of further down the line in terms of were they the worst team, because I think you probably have Stoke in that mix. A lot of people didn't like the way Stoke played, especially under Tony Pulis. So that's one of the teams. And then Sam Allardyce's teams are normally not the best of teams to watch either. So, but unfortunately, it's not quite about styles nowadays. It's about results. We're all result driven in terms of football. So let's say they were able to get out of it. We can't really say much in terms of their status as one of the worst teams. But for me, no, they're not my cup of tea, to be brutally honest with you. So back to the Premier League review. This is the last game I'll be reviewing, and this is a Tottenham and Southampton game. So another game with lots of goals, but a lot of twists and turns at the same time as well. Son looks to be playing with more confidence now, which I feel like he was lacking over the last few weeks. Was on the score sheet this time. But Spurs defensively were really, really bad throughout the game. But that's from a Tottenham's point of view. In terms of Southampton, you have to give them credit. They were 2-1 down and they were able to win 3-2. Two identical assists from Ward-Prowse, where literally stood in the same position and produced a fantastic whipped cross twice. Great deliveries into the box and 2 converted goals from Ozzie and Shea Adams. So for me, Spurs deserved the win. I feel like they were really going for it. And Spurs, I feel like it's the tail of their season. They're so inconsistent. You just don't know which team is turning up. And if you're a Spurs fan, that must be really frustrating to watch because you don't know what teams are turning out today. So they're currently 7th with 36 points, still have 3 games in hand. So if they're able to achieve maximum points, they're not out of the top 4 race. Don't get me wrong, they're probably in a strong position if they're able to win those 3 games. But that's a big if. And right now, the way Spurs are playing, you just don't know what's going to happen. It's not as clear cut as it is on paper, unfortunately, but they're still in the mix. I feel like right now there is no strong team that deserves that top 4 spot, if I'm honest with you. They're all up and down in terms of their form, but makes the race more interesting, I guess, for the neutral. So, yeah, we'll see how the season unfolds. What I'll do now is I will present my team of the week, which I like to do on every episode. So I will share my graphic with you guys. So here is not too many surprises, I think, if you just look at my lineup there. The first player is Nick Pope in my goalkeeping position. For me, he was fantastic against Manchester United. Made some crucial saves, in particular the one where Cavani was pretty much stepping on the goal line and still missed. But a great save from Pope there. For me, definitely helped Burnley claim a point, as it could have gone either way in that match. Back 4, I've gone for Cresswell as left back. For me, he had a solid performance and definitely played a hand in their win over the week. Centre back pairing, I've gone for Van Dijk. As I mentioned earlier, I was really impressed with his performance, really dominant performance from him. It could have been Matip as well, actually, so it could be one or the other. But I've gone for Van Dijk in this team of the week. His partner in this team is Llorente, who was on the score sheet for that fantastic game against Aston Villa. Trippier as my right back, who I mentioned earlier on, fantastic game, assist and a goal with a beautiful free kick. So that's why he's there. Midfield 3, Jacob Ramsey, the player that's really shining right now, which is fantastic to see. Young gem in the ranks at Aston Villa, scored some great goals, 2 goals. The second goal for me was really good. In particular, smashed it in top corner, so shows you his confidence playing for a team where he's led by one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League history. So I feel like he's probably thriving from playing under someone of great leadership and great sort of understanding of the game, and that can only enhance his game going further forward as well. So, for me, great performance from him. There's early shouts that he deserves it in call-up. I say, why not? I feel like he deserves to be in the mix now. Different type of midfielder to what we normally have in the squad. So, box to box, can score goals, but can also do the dirty work. I think he'd be a welcome addition to the England squad there. My next player, Ward-Prowse, 2 assists, the talisman at Southampton. Just shows you his ability on the ball, not just on a dead ball situation, but also in open play, where he's able to produce 2 assists to help his team win. So great performance from him. Kevin De Bruyne on the score sheet again, so no surprise there. Front 3, I've gone for Saint-Maximin. Wasn't on the score sheet, but was unbelievable against Everton there, so that's why he's there. Jared Bowen, so another fantastic performance from him, great goal. Probably could have got another one actually during the game, but another player that deserves to be called for the England squad, in my opinion, has been one of the top performers in this Premier League this season. So definitely deserves to be in the mix there. And finally, I've gone for Diogoal, who I've titled my episode with, or Jota the Shota, call him whatever you want. Best Portuguese striker in the league. I'm not arguing with that. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. Fantastic. That's another 2 goals for him. I believe that's his 17th goal of this season. 60 appearances and 30 goals for Liverpool, which is a fantastic ratio of obviously one goal in every 2 games. But for a player that was regarded as a bench player or signed as an impact player to challenge the front three, has made a place for himself in that Liverpool attack, which is formidable. And credit goes to him in terms of his drive and determination to make an impact at Liverpool. So, we're enjoying his performances week in and week out. So it's really, really great to see. Before we go on to the next one, we will do an FPL update. So I feel like I haven't done this for such a long time, only due to the sort of manic schedule with the Premier League in terms of match week. I've not been able to do my shows on certain days and stuff. So just like today, for example, we've got 1 day gap and then we've got the match week, another match week starting tomorrow. So it's just all over the place. I've not been able to check in terms of who's got the maximum points in the league. But this week, I've been able to check. I'll just review my performance. I got 67 points, which is not too bad. It's not too shabby. But one person in our league that was performed really, really well is Kobe Jr., who got 103 points. So well done, Kobe. That is a fantastic week for you. That's a big, big ratio. I noticed in your team that you triple captain Jota, and you also did a bench boost as well. So yeah, I think that's why you've got. I think you captain Jota, not double captain. Sorry, I think you captain Jota and did a bench boost, and that definitely helped you. Did some good selections there. And there was a couple of players I noticed that didn't even get you any points, but regardless, you still were able to get a 3-digit scoreline. So well done to you regarding your fantasy football. If guys, make sure you update your teams. The deadline's tomorrow morning. It's coming thick and fast nowadays. So just make sure you're in the loop for that. So before I conclude the show, I will do a match week 25 preview. So I'll present the matches that are taking place, give you my sort of oversight in terms of what I feel like will happen, and I'll give you a prediction for each score. And so what I'll just share a graphic with you guys before we do that, and then you guys can let me know what you think. Here we go. So I hope you guys can see the fixtures there. Fantastic. So the first game, as you can see, is Chelsea and Arsenal. So that was supposed to have taken place this weekend, but this has been postponed. I'm not sure what the date is now. I believe it will probably be in I think it'll be next month, due to Chelsea also playing end of the month in the Carabao Cup. But I think that remains to be seen in terms of when that match will be played. But the first game, as you can see, is Manchester United versus Southampton. So Manchester United have not been in great form, to be honest with you. Southampton just came back with a great win against Tottenham. So this is a tricky one. I'm going for a draw. I'm not confident in terms of how Man United are playing nowadays. I'm sure United fans can relate to what I've just said there. So I'm going for a 1-1 regarding that match there. And then now you've got Watford and Brighton. So that's going to be a tricky game. I'm going to go for an away win for Brighton. So 2-1 to Brighton with that fixture there. And then we've got Brentford and Crystal Palace. Eriksen, I believe, is in contention to participate in this game. I don't think he'll start. Maybe he'll come off the bench. I'm not too sure. Crystal Palace, unable to get the win the other day. Zaha scoring a fantastic goal, but then unfortunately slipping as he was about to execute a finish on the penalty spot. I wouldn't say it cost him the win, but it was just a bit unfortunate in terms of how that happened. But I feel like they've been showing some good form recently. So I'm going to go for... I'll go for a draw. I think it'll be draw. I'll go for 1-1 with this fixture. And then the next one, we've got Everton and Leeds United. So as I mentioned about Everton, they need to try and find some points quick and fast. They're playing against a team that are known for their attacking play, very open play as well. They're not defensively the best in terms of their record. However, I feel like Leeds will probably win this fixture. I'm not confident in terms of how Everton have been defending. They've been conceding some really poor goals. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Leeds United. I know it's an away fixture, but I feel like right now, I know they've appointed a new manager in Frank Lampard. They've got a couple signings as well. But the fans aren't vocal as they normally are, especially at Goodison Park. Maybe those acquisitions will spur them on to have that sort of atmosphere within the ground. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I don't have a lot of confidence in terms of how Everton are playing right now. Moving on to the next fixture, Norwich City versus Man City. I believe, yeah, this is a big scoreline. I'm going to give 5-0 to Man City. Apologies to any Norwich fans there. I just feel like Man City are in a different world. And this is a type of fixture that they still rub their hands with because it's going to be like a goal hunt throughout that game. So, yeah, expect a number of goals during this fixture. And then we've got Tottenham and Wolves. So this is a battle for top four. Let's be honest. Wolves obviously losing to Arsenal, so probably a bit deflated about that result. Not more so than Tottenham, who lost in poor fashion, conceding two goals in like consecutive minutes. I'm giving this to Wolves. I think Wolves might just nick a win. I'm going to give Wolves a 1-0 victory against Tottenham. I feel like I've predicted a lot of away wins, but let's see how it goes. The next one, Newcastle versus Aston Villa. So I'm expecting goals in this one. I'm going for a 2-2 result. I don't think there'll be a clear winner here, but I feel like it'll be an evenly matched game. I think both teams, for me, had the best window in January in terms of their new acquisitions. So we're interested to see how that pans out. Then we've got Burnley and Liverpool. So we were just speaking about Burnley earlier on in terms of they're not my cup of tea. Hopefully that doesn't bite me on the arse as I'm reviewing the next round of matches in the next episode. But away fixture, Burnley is always a difficult team to beat, especially at home. So I'm going for a 2-0 win for Liverpool. I think Sadio Mane is back in training now. I'm not sure if he'll be taking part in this game. I think he'll be probably available next week, maybe in the Champions League or in the following Premier League fixture. As I feel like he deserves a rest from the recent round of games he's been playing at AFCON. So yeah, I'm going for a 2-0 win. I'll probably go with Jota and Salah on the score sheet there. And then finally, the last fixture, Leicester City versus West Ham. So another sort of top four contenders here. I've not been impressed with Leicester City in recent weeks, to be fair. I think West Ham might nick this one. So I'm going for a West Ham win. Scoreline will be 2-1. So let me know what you guys think in terms of my prediction. I'll make a note of it and let's see how many I get right in the next episode. And speaking of episodes, that wraps us for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. Hopefully we'll be uploading more content in the near future. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell. You'll be notified of any new content that we upload in the coming weeks. So look forward to that. I also have a show on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, please follow me at Ozzie.ftp. I normally do show at 10 p.m. on Monday on Instagram Live. Just realized Monday is Valentine's Day, so I'm not sure if I'll be doing it, but if you follow me, you'll be able to keep loop in terms of when I will be doing a Talk That Talk. Might do it on the Tuesday, depending on the fixtures, as I believe this Champions League match is coming around. But it might be interesting to talk about what's happened over the weekend, but maybe speak about the Champions League as well. So maybe we'll do an episode on the Tuesday as a one-off. But yes, as always, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next week. Take care and see you all soon. Good night.